Should you sell your property without allowing for buyer contingencies, or should you take a more traditional approach? Welcome to part 2 of Fiduciary Real Estate Services in Los Angeles. My name is Matias, and this is your guide to selling real estate as a fiduciary. So, what is a fiduciary? A fiduciary is an individual or entity entrusted with the responsibility to act in the best interest of another party. Whether you just inherited a house as a successor trustee or have been hired or appointed as a professional fiduciary, this video is for you. In the last video, we talked about preparing the property for sale and deciding whether to sell it as is or to invest in repairs and renovations. We also learned about the importance of marketable or clean title and understanding who has authority to sign the listing agreement. But before listing the property for sale, we must make one more very important decision. Should you sell without allowing for buyer contingencies, or should this be a standard sale? A lot of realtors will have you believe one way or the other, and they will claim that their way is the best, but that is just not true. It all depends on the property location, conditions, and real estate market cycles. You don't want to undersell your property or miss out on financial gains for the beneficiaries, because chances are you are familiar with a standard sale. In this video, we will focus on the non-contingent sale option. First, we must understand what contingencies are. In real estate, contractual contingencies are specific conditions or clauses included in the real estate contract that must be met for the deal to close. In the case of buyer contingencies, the most common are satisfactory property conditions or inspections, document reviews or disclosures, appraisal contingency, and finally, loan contingency. Normally, these are satisfied during the escrow period, giving the buyer a right to cancel the deal if any of these conditions are not met, but not in a non-contingent sale. During a non-contingent sale, the buyer has no right to cancel the contract without risking losing the initial deposit. Let me explain. When an offer is accepted, a buyer delivers a deposit to escrow, or in some cases, directly to the seller. And generally speaking, without a right to cancel, the money is non-refundable. So is that it? Not exactly. Have you ever heard the expression caveat emptor or buyer beware? Well, in California real estate, there's no such thing. So how can the initial deposit be non-refundable? In California, the seller, no matter who they are, still has very specific statutory obligation when it comes to the transfer of real estate. But we are asking for the buyer to submit a non-contingent offer. So how can we protect everyone involved? The answer is very simple, but counterintuitive, and a very few real estate professionals understand it. It is the work we do prior to putting the property up for sale and prior to opening escrow that really matters. Under certain circumstances, a seller can be considered what is known as an exempt seller. An exempt seller is typically someone who is not required to provide certain disclosures that are usually mandated in standard real estate transactions. Keep in mind that you don't have to be an exempt seller to do a non-contingent sale, but let's look at what circumstances can make someone an exempt seller. These are trust sales, probate sales, including conservatorships, foreclosures, bank-owned properties, new home sales by builders, and finally, transfer between co-owners or family members. Whether you are an exempt seller or not, you must disclose any known material facts that impact the desirability of the property. Known is the key word here. You can't disclose what you don't know. And that's exactly why all the work we do before going on the market is so important. We will prepare all of the disclosures and necessary documents along with the necessary forms that the buyer needs to review prior to the sale. Once everything is ready, it is time to go on the market. Apart from our incredible marketing efforts, we will now also make the property available to all prospective buyers so they can inspect it and complete their due diligence. What we want is to make sure all prospective buyers submit offers with their eyes wide open. This is important for two reasons. First, you as the seller should not be placed in a position to make decisions that could result in challenges by beneficiaries. Second is that during a traditional escrow, after a buyer completes their inspections, they submit what is known as a request for repairs, asking for the sellers to make the necessary repairs, give them a credit or a price reduction. The problem with this is that it puts you in a position of having to make decisions based on someone else's investigations. Having personally worked with nonprofits and charitable organizations, I can tell you that it's not ideal to place certain sellers in the positions to have to make these decisions. And you, as a fiduciary, may not feel comfortable giving a $10,000 credit for the roof, knowing that someday someone could question it. What we do instead is very effective. Instead of having one buyer inspect during the escrow, we have all potential buyers complete their due diligence prior to submitting an offer. This also protects us from retraders and wholesalers. Retraders are unscrupulous buyers who submit high offers they have absolutely no intention of honoring. And during the escrow period, they grind the seller down for credits or price reductions, knowing that the property is no longer for sale, so they may have the upper hand. But it doesn't stop there. With the paperwork we prepare, we will also protect ourselves from wholesalers. Wholesalers are buyers who put the property under contract and then sell the contract at a profit to the actual buyer. You are going to be surprised how many properties I see coming up for sale in the wholesale market that are listed by unsuspecting agents and sellers who have no idea they are leaving money on the table. Canceled escrows and putting the property back on the market is never a good idea. It is better to get it right the first time. After extensively marketing the property and achieving exceptional market exposure, we work to obtain the best offer and proceed to open escrow or petition the court for confirmation. It may be necessary to have a round of counter offers to level the playing field, but we don't need to go into all the details because I will guide you every step of the way. Making non-contingent sales is a very specialized area of real estate, and few peoples get it right. Thank you for joining me on this video discussing Fiduciary Real Estate Services in Los Angeles. This concludes part 2. If you haven't already, please be sure to check part 1. My name is Matias, and I am your trusted Los Angeles realtor. From trust and probate sales to luxury real estate, and from multifamily to investment properties, I am always just one click or phone call away. If I don't hear from you sooner, I will see you in the next video. For now, bye!